Hello folks, John Cordisco back from Cordisco's Chess Center in upstate New York in Binghamton with another game for you here. It's a game that I played at the 37th Binghamton Open here in Binghamton back in March of last year. It was a pretty good game. We play, I'm in the reserve section, which is under 1700, and the game time controls are game 65, and we allow a 5-second delay. I was white. Let me flip the board here. And it starts off with e4. I'm going to call tonight's game the indecisive knight, and you'll see why. He moves his knight several times and loses quite a few tempos. And I went f3. My opponent went a6. I went c4. My opponent went d6. I went knight c3, and he went knight c6. h3. I didn't want his light-squared bishop to pin my knight. I wanted to move my bishop up. Knight f6. d3. And e6. I was a little surprised at the e6 move. Frankly, I thought he'd have his pawn on e5. I know that makes it backward a d pawn, but his dark squared bishop is already pretty much hemmed in, so I thought he'd at least go e5 to release his light squared bishop. The game continues on. I went bishop e3, and he went queen c7. Bishop b2, getting ready to castle. He went bishop e7. And then we both castled. Pretty much getting our pieces out, maneuvering around a little bit. As you can see from the score on the bottom, it's a Sicilian, an O'Kelly variation. And the score is pretty close. We're pretty much just getting our pieces out, getting ready to go here. This is a gentleman that I've played many, many times in my tournaments, one of the regular players. We've had a lot of battles over the years. In fact, I had a video on here a few days ago called Keeping Your Head in a Tough Situation, and that was the same gentleman that I'm playing now. Move 10, I went b3. Seems like an odd move, but I really wanted to do was just shore up my c-pawn. I had ambitions for pushing d4 and doing a break there. I want to put the pawn at b3. I'm not worried about the knight coming, as I always kicked the knight with the a-pawn, so I wasn't worried about that. He went h6. I went queen to d2, just in case there's any sacrifices up here. Takes, queen takes. He moves that bishop. I'm pretty much set. Plus the fact it gets him off the bank rank, connects my rooks. He went king to h7. I assumed from that he decided that I was going to sacrifice the bishop for the two pawns, and he wanted to keep his king up there. And I made my break with d4. He played c takes, and I played knight takes. Now here comes the name of the video here, is Indecisive Knight, and you'll see why in a moment. On move 13, he went knight to e5. Well enough. I went rook a to c1. He moved his knight back on d7. That's twice. I went bishop to d3. He moved his knight back on e7. For the life of me, I don't know what he's waiting for. He was trying to hit my light squared bishop, obviously. The indecisive knight wastes a lot of tempos. As Vladimir Kramnik says, chess is a game of tempos. Time is everything. I went bishop b1. I want to keep my light squared bishop. I see some attacking possibilities when this knight moves. Now I've got a hidden check, which can disrupt his pieces here. He went king h8 to get out of that. Another tempo lost. That's twice he's moved the king now. And I came barreling on with f4. He went knight c6. That knight moved again. I went rook f3. Either one of two things. They double up my rooks on the f file, or bring my rook over the g file, depending how things go. He went e5, attacking my knight, and I went knight to f5. That's a pretty good outpost there. Now, if he takes me with his bishop, that's considered his good bishop, being his centralized pawns are on dark squares. So I'll trade that knight for his good bishop anytime. He plays bishop takes knight. Bishop takes x5. And pawn takes f5. I'm going to start bringing up my g-pawn. I've got 4 pawns in on the attack. I got queen here, bishop here in a battery. I've got my rook, my bishop here. Look like I'm in pretty good shape here. He went rook a to d8. Bring your rooks into the center. And I went knight to d5, which I thought was a very good spot for that knight. If he takes, pawn takes, he loses his knight. So he went queen to b8. And that went g4, just barreling. He played e takes f. And I played bishop takes, which is fine by me. I've got a pawn storm coming. I've got a bishop, dark squared bishop here with a queen behind it. I got a light squared bishop here. I got this rook can come over. This rook is already here. The attack is starting to form, even though the score isn't as high as I would think for black or for white. It's only plus 0.55, which I'm a little surprised at actually. He played knight to e5. This knight went to e5 again. I believe that's the 3rd or 4th time. That's why I decided to call this video the indecisive knight. I went rook to g3 after he attacked my rook with his knight. He played knight takes d5. And I played c takes. Now I had this file, which I'm probably going to bring my rook over here anyway, so that doesn't really matter to me. And he went bishop h4. And I sat here for a little bit, and then I said, wait a minute. He's got a very good knight there on e5, the indecisive knight. The poor knight that couldn't make up his mind where to go. If I take with a bishop, and he takes my rook, I get 2 pieces for the rook. I can live with that. So I played bishop takes. Then I thought to myself, you know, why should I give that up? I played bishop takes h6. And he sat here for quite a while. Quite a while, actually. And he played bishop takes g3. Big mistake. Let's go back and move here. I'm only up 0.59. That move for the computer says to do is b5, which of course isn't much of a move. King to g8. He's pretty stuck. That queen's going to come in no matter what. This is what happens. You get under pressure. You feel the pressure. He sees my pawns coming. He sees I'm giving up a rook for free. He panics a little bit. My queen's right there. And he goes bishop takes g3. It's narrow-sightedness. He sees the rook. He takes it. And I play bishop takes check. He plays king takes. And I play queen of g5 check. It says mate in 7, but he's pretty much down here. Way down in material. This pawn is going to be coming up. The bishop's going to be hitting this square. It's pretty much curtains for him. So at this point he resigned. Sometimes indecisiveness loses the game. And this is a game that I played last March. And I hope you enjoyed it. This is John Cordisco from Cordisco's Chess Center in Binghamton, New York, signing off. And remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye, folks.